Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. So my phone's about to die, and I'm about to just kidding. I wanted to do a little exercise, and before my phone dies, and we always read out of this book. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it, huh? So I decided just to go my natural self. Have no fear, right? Have no fear. Be yourself. Be yourself. Nobody's perfect. Oh my goodness, I love Garrett Warren, who said, "I'm not, or she's not perfect." Speaking about her ex, I'm not perfect. How'd it go? Or no, I make mistakes. She makes mistakes. I made mistakes. Nobody's perfect. No one's perfect. That kind of really helped me a lot. I don't know. It just hit it home. You can go to YouTube and see if you can find his story. It's called "The Plot Thickens" on Dateline. So it's a really good story, worth looking into. Kind of changed my life. I even contacted him, told him how it changed my life. It really has touched me. Okay, so today is what, the 20? Oh my goodness, I don't even know what day it is. Monday is the 31st, right? So Sunday, so it's the 30th. Unity in diversity. There's unity in diversity. When we behold the Holy Family, oh, it is Holy Family Day for our church. So give your family members all a hug for me. When we behold the Holy Family as Christmas time, it says as Christmas time, I guess that's right, we see how different the various members are. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph each have their own specific calling and task in the mystery of salvation. But there has never been a more harmonic and peaceful family. Precisely in their differences, these people find their deepest unity. So, it is in the Holy Trinity as well. The Father and the Son are completely different from each other, but they love each other so intensely that they become one in the Holy Spirit, as a man and a woman become one in their child. Ooh, I never really heard that one. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? It says, as a man and a woman become one in their child. That's pretty deep, wouldn't you say? If a family or a community doesn't function well, we so easily resort to saying, we are too different. But it isn't differences that cause the conflicts, but lack of love. Love transforms the difference into harmony, not by destroying it, but by affirming and respecting it. Respect is one of the choicest qualities of love. Respect for the individuality and unique personality of the other. If I love, I wish for the other to become ever more himself or herself. I confirm the other in what makes him or her unlike me. Okay. Oof. Let me read that one line again. I loved it. So intensely that, let's start from the beginning. The Father and the Son are completely different from each other, but they love each other so intensely that they become one in the Holy Spirit, as a man and a woman become one in their child. Yeah. Just think about that. It almost says like nobody really dies. You know? They live on. They live on as one in us. So we have to be, show their qualities, That's right. Your parents, You know, you pick out, you show the good that they had in them, you know. That's one thing I just loved about my mother, being Catholic. Just the love she had in her heart. She's such a sweet lady. I miss her, but I can believe that she's in me. Woo! Like that. Okay. Good news. We got the good news. All right, so let's do this. You see, I'm not like, you know, not really picky here. I'm just gonna pick out something. Okay, right there. Let's do this one. Just this paragraph, and then we got to go. We're gonna play a video. Forgot to get the name of it, but it's on YouTube. I'll write it down in below so you can see what the name of it was later. So it says Saul, who became Paul, right? Preaches in Damascus. Saul stayed for a few days with the believers in Damascus. He went straight to the synagogues and began to preach that Jesus was the Son of God. All who heard him were amazed and asked, "Isn't he the one who in Jerusalem was killing those who worshiped that man Jesus? And didn't he come here for the very purpose of arresting those people and taking them back to the chief priests?" But Saul's preaching became even more powerful, and his proofs that Jesus was the Messiah was so convincing that the Jews who lived in Damascus could not answer him. After many days had gone by, the Jews met together and made plans to kill Saul, but he was told of their plan. Day and night they watched the city gates in order to kill him, but one night Saul's followers took him and let him down through an opening in the wall, lowering him in a basket. I never heard that story. But, so, anyway, see how anybody can change, or, you know, we think that people are the way they are, but people can change, you know. I'm number one in thinking, you know, a little bit stubborn about thinking, oh, nobody really changes. But anyway, they do. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm about to probably run out of juice here, but let's see if it happens. So we're going to watch a YouTube video or listen to it while we do some other yoga poses. So just follow along. I'll just do what comes, you know, some of the yoga poses, the beginning yoga poses. By the way, yoga means one, to be one, okay? That's what that means. Okay, don't mess this up, Elsie.
Now, unfortunately, most people's well-being is so fragile. Just about anybody can hijack it. You went out today and somebody told you are the most wonderful person in the world. And you were floating on cloud. What number? 9? You do only 9? In South India we do 11, you know. You were floating on whatever number cloud and you came home and people at home told you who you really are. It's a very fragile well-being, isn't it so? Just anybody can hijack it. Just anybody. It doesn't take some earth-shaking event to hijack your well-being. Please see. Anything can stress you. Anything can make you anxious. Anything can make you disturbed. Anything can make you lose your sense of joy and peace. Now, in this state, your ability to use, your ability to manifest the capability of who you are is not at a very high level. Unfortunately today, most people, when they use the word human, they're always using the word human as a bundle of limitations. If someone says, oh, I'm only human, he's not referring to the possibilities of being human. He's not referring to the immensity of being human. He's only referring to the limitations of being human. Isn't it so? Yes. When someone says, I'm only human, he's only talking about his limitations. These limitations have become significant, mainly because of the kind of identities that one takes on. And above all, because even this one is not happening the way you want him to be. See, in your life, nobody happens 100% the way you want them, isn't it true? Has anybody happened in your life? Your parents, your friends, your spouse, your children, none of them happen 100% the way you want them. These days, not even your dog, he does his own thing. Has anybody happened 100% the way you want them? Or are you such a hopeless romantic, you're still hoping that somebody will happen 100% the way you want them? Nobody will happen. They will happen to some extent. If they happen 51% the way you want them, you are doing great. Yes. Yes or no? If people are happening, people around you.
I'm scared to death to go home. I don't want to be in the situation to have to go home and say to my daughter, Daddy's not going to be living here anymore.
This is Neil, who's about to be left by his wife.
It's a commercial.
Neil is desperate to turn it around, but he doesn't know how to do it. He's just raised his hand at a Tony Robbins seminar.
Me and my wife had a big fight.
People are happening, people around you in your life are happening 51% the way you want them to be. That means you're doing great, your stake is good. So nobody happens the way you want them to be. It doesn't matter, that's not the real problem. The problem is this one is not happening the way you want him to be. Nobody happens, it's okay. This one person must happen the way you want him to be, isn't it so? Yes. If this one doesn't happen, it's a lost case. If this one did happen the way you want him, I am sure you would keep him in the highest level of pleasantness and well-being. And that is a sure way of ensuring that who you are finds full expression in your life. Then when you say, I'm human, you will refer to the immensity of being human, not to the limitations of being human. It is just that when it comes to the outside, we have understood. There was a time, whenever you get onto your plane today, do you tell prayers? You still do? What airline are you getting into? Not anymore, isn't it? You just go, because you know the airplane is well taken care of, the pilot is well trained, and everything that needs to be done has been done, and the chances of you crashing are 1 in a million. Isn't it so? The chances of you getting killed crossing a street is much more than crashing your plane. So, no, you just go and sit. Nobody thinks of God. There was a time if people had to get into an airplane, they would pray 10 times before they got in because they were not sure whether they were going to land or not. Technology, isn't it so? Yes or no? Technology. So right now your trust in technology has way outstripped your trust in God. Please say this. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is anybody still trying the carpet? Somebody was just asking me now, I said, right now I flew on a silk carpet and came from India. You know? It's funny why they named an airplane Silk. It is just that there was a time when you believed that you could do stupid things and tell a prayer and everything will be okay. Now you understand, unless you do the right things will not happen to you. Yes or no? Are you clear about this? Unless you do the right things will not happen to you on the outside. Why is that not true with inside? Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. It's as simple as that. If right things are not happening to you, obviously you're not doing the right things. So there is a whole technology as to how to conduct the interiority Unfortunately, we have tried to ignore that and tried to live. So wherever we have done the right things, those things have worked for us. Whatever things we have not handled well is not working for us, isn't it? Yes or no? Isn't that so? So, if your interiority is a turmoil, when I say turmoil, not always that you're continuously freaked out about something. If your experience of the day is not immensely pleasant, that means you are in a steady state of turmoil. Because only when you're very, very pleasant, everything works well. 70% of the ailment on the planet will disappear if people were just simply blissful and happy. This I'm not saying offhand. There is substantial scientific evidence to prove this. So whether we have become medically sick or not, one way or the other, if we are causing unpleasantness, we are sick. If we are causing unpleasantness to this one, we are sick. If I cause unpleasantness to you, you think I'm sick, isn't it so? Yes? If I simply cause unpleasantness to you every day, won't you think I'm sick? So if I'm causing it to this one, am I not sick? Maybe nobody is complaining, but it is a kind of sickness, isn't it? So this needs to be approached as a science too. It is very, very important. The inner well-being also has to be approached in a scientific way. And it has been done this way for thousands of years, but it's always been so. Just a small segment of people made use of this. But it's my interest that people like you, who are in many ways going to impact many, many lives around you, also should make use of this, because your life is no more about yourself. Once you have taken a position of responsibility, once you have taken a position of power, your life is no more about yourself. Everything that you do has something to do with somebody. Every thought, every emotion, every action has something to do with somebody, isn't it? So, this is too brief a time to do anything more, but if you have questions, any kind of question, we will look at it. Any kind of question.
Hello, I'm JP Meloche. I'm an MPA student at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. You emphasized in your presentation the need to be at peace with ourselves or being relatively happy. However, do we not need to be sometimes angry or sometimes uncomfortable with our surroundings in order to have the drive to change the things that we want to change?
I did not say you should be at peace with yourself or you should be happy. I'm just asking, what's your choice? What is your choice for yourself? Pleasantness or unpleasantness? Just what's your choice? What is your choice for yourself? Pleasantness or unpleasantness? Pleasantness, isn't it? So that is not my choice. If you like unpleasantness, do it. I have no problem. But if you want pleasantness and you're creating unpleasantness, obviously you're not going where you want to go, isn't it? So I am not advising people be peaceful, be joyful. It's their choice. If somebody enjoys misery, what's my problem? Yes, I really have no problem. But there is no such thing. Everybody wants pleasantness in his life, isn't it so? You want pleasantness inside and pleasantness outside. That's what you want, isn't it? Whatever you may be seeking, see, please understand this. Whether you go to the temple, whether you go to the bar, or you go to the office, or you want to go to heaven, you're still seeking pleasantness, isn't it so? Yes or no? Somebody thinks it's in success, somebody thinks it is in the bottle, somebody thinks it's in heaven, somebody thinks it's in the temple, but everybody is in search of pleasantness. Is that so? Is that so? So if pleasantness is what you're seeking and if you're creating the reverse of that, you cannot say you're successful. Yes? If pleasantness is what you're seeking and you're achieving the reverse of that, could you say you're successful? If unpleasantness is what you're seeking, that's fine with me, you are successful. So this is not my idea, please get that out of your mind. This is not my idea that you must be happy, I have no such intentions. My intention is just this, let whatever you want happen to you. What you want should happen, isn't it? If you like misery and I impose happiness on you, is it going to be good? It's not going to be good, isn't it? So this is your choice. So if your choice is pleasantness, why is it not happening? That's a question. Now, unless you're angry, you cannot propel yourself into action. Unfortunately, this is true with a lot of people, that unless they're angry, they cannot propel themselves into action. You heard of Che Guevara? You heard of Che? You must be seeing those t-shirts. Everybody's wearing Che Guevara's t-shirts. Most young people don't know who he is. They think he's a rock star. But I heard that the one t-shirt which is still being sold to the maximum on the planet is Che Guevara's t-shirt, even today. I see anywhere, any part of the world I go, young people are wearing Che's. Many times I stop them and ask, do you know who this guy is? They said, we don't know. Then why are you wearing? He's Che. So Che, when I was young, Che was like a cult hero. And Che said, if you're in rage, you're one of us. So this impressed me, because wherever I saw injustice, wherever I saw something not going okay, I was also in a rage about everything. Then it took a certain amount of experience and inner exploration for me to see and get out of that rage. Then a group of revolutionaries from, the Jawaharlal Nehru University came to me, and they were all Che people, and they said, Che said this. I said, listen, now I have something to say. If you're out of rage, you're one of us. Now you can propel yourself with rage. You can also propel yourself with your joy, with your love, with your compassion, which will be more saner way of doing things. When you propel yourself with rage, you will cause one injustice for another injustice that's been happening till now. But if you propel yourself with compassion, you will do just what is needed, nothing more, nothing less. See, I don't even want to impose joy upon you. I want what you want to happen. Yes, this is how it should be, isn't it? Because I am not propelled by my rage, I am completely out of rage. Nothing puts me in rage anymore. It's not that I'm oblivious to the nonsense that's happening on the planet. I'm very, very aware of it. I'm very, very involved in seeing and finding solutions. So these are the two ways. Do you want to drive yourself consciously or unconsciously? This is the question. Whenever you're in rage, whenever you're angry, are you conscious or unconscious? You're definitely unconscious, isn't it? And when you become angry, generally you suffer more than your victim most of the time. Yes or no? So in that kind of condition, what are you going to create? Once in a way, corrective measures may happen because somebody is angry, but that is not the way to do things. In a balanced, sane way, you can correct things, isn't it? The reason why the first injustice has happened also is because somebody is in rage and you're trying to correct it with another rage. Let's say a crime happens on the street. Out of greed or anger, a crime happens. Now you get angry and try to correct it. You're also committing another crime, probably a larger one usually. You can correct that out of simple, sheer sense, out of your humanity. Just now, like about 6 days ago, I was speaking to a group of people and they introduced me as humanitarian.